We've known each other since we were, what, 6?
6.
Chris's cousin dated my uncle, so they ended up living together with my grandparents because they were teenage lovers. And of course, because that's his cousin, my uncle, we met. We've known each other, again, since we were 6 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, long time. So we'll be married 5 years on August 30th. But again, we were dating longer. Like our son, we have children together. So we've been together almost, 10 years now? Married 5.
It was a corny proposal.
No, it wasn't. It's okay. I mean, everything could be better. But it was nice. It was unexpected. It was planned with intimate group, which was our family, mother, father-in-love, mother-in-love, sisters, brothers.
Called her father, called her family up, and asked her father, can I marry his daughter? And my sister was coming with the ring. I was like, oh my goodness. So everybody was waiting. It all turned out. My sister finally made it.
So your sister was in the hot seat too?
She was in the hot seat, trying to make it to the house. Sister came, and I proposed.
I'm the boss. I mean, it can't be any other way. I run things in that house. He might be the CEO of A1 Finishers, but I am the boss.
No,
I'm joking. No. Happy
No.
wife, happy life. No, he is the king, the ruler, the number one, numero uno. But again, I act like I'm the boss, but I do know my place. I do know what my role should be. Kind of hard for me to stay in that role most of the time, but again, I do know what I should be doing as a wife. I don't always do it, but I know what I should do.
Well, I grew up in a one-parent household with my mother. She grew up in a two-parent household.
No, not, well, later on.
Yeah,
but
later
not
on.
in my younger years. So I think we both grew up in a single parent household in a sense, because my parents were teenage loves when they had me. They were in high school. So basically my grandparents stepped in and really took the role of parents so that their children could still finish their education and would not be hindered by having a child. So I think if you technically want to speak of
it's still a two-parent because grandma and grandpa.
Well, yeah, but those are my grandparents. I didn't grow up with a mother and a father in one house until my mother married my stepfather and my father married my stepmother. And then I was actually able to see two parents in love. You know, my parents were friends, yes, but not a two-parent household until later in life, if you exclude the grandparents. That's what he's referring to.
I like to break the chain of fathers not being, men not being fathers and men not being husbands. And so with my father not being around in my life, it made me go the opposite direction. Then, you know, I don't want to repeat his steps. So it causes me to step up with my children and causes me to step up as being a man and a husband, because I wasn't taught that. I wasn't seen that, but by his mistakes allowed me to be the man that I am right now.
And that's what I appreciate about him too, the fact that he grew up totally different from me in a sense, but yet it made him such an amazing man, such an amazing father, an amazing husband. And it makes me really appreciate a lot of the things that I would take for granted or that would discourage me. I often look at his situation and his past, and it helps me to see things for what they are and to be more appreciative of the little things because they matter. And it gets hard, but yes, he definitely is, whether he knows it or not, a role model to me too. even as a man, not just because he's my husband, but, all of the things he's overcome. I love, it's so many things, but I think on the top of my list would be his heart, how he cares for his family, the people that he loves, even the people he doesn't know, how he always is willing to be cheerful, to speak to you, to tell a joke, to talk, just to try to brighten up the day and the mood.
One of the most things I love about my wife is her heart.
He likes to be.
No, my wife hot. She sleep outside for the homeless youth. She always volunteering the different organizations. She put her family first. She big on education, far as with the kids and what she tutor. She a mentor. So that's one thing about my wife. Her heart for people. Want to see the best in people and want to see the growth of people.
We've always loved each other, even as friends. That's just the truth. We have. But as far as a relationship, I think it's once we really got to know each other, like actually spending time with each other, like he decided, no more friends, let's do what we need to do. But sometimes he gets amnesia and doesn't remember that he said that to me, but he did.
I knew I love her because I'm not the same person I was before. So when my actions starting to change, it wasn't a feeling like, now I'm in love with her. It was throughout the years knowing, changing things in your life and going to not hurt your wife, as far as putting yourself in predicaments that, that'll see her cry. And I always tell her that, I say, you could be older and you could be a man, but when you start putting yourself in predicaments that allow you to lose your family, and, if you ever seen your wife cry and you don't want to do nothing to see that hurt, that shame, so as far as like going out, to different clubs again, or real flirtations, or probably think you slick, or sometimes, when I started seeing myself change in those aspects, and that's when I knew the love was there. Well, to be honest with you, I used to think I was slick, No, for real, I used to think I was slick. So I seen her cry one time, as a hurtful cry, and you look back at it, you like, wow, I don't want to see her like that, And you be truthful with yourself, that's a pain. If you really care about somebody and love somebody, you wouldn't want to see them hurt like that, So.
But she said, what was it about me that made you want to change?
No, I'm just telling you, because you my wife, I don't want to see you hurt. That's what it was.
I understand. He's more of an introvert. I'm the extrovert. He doesn't say much, so you have to pull things out of him.
No, you don't.
But I definitely hear you saying, like, you valued and loved her.
Right, well, never that much.
I care about her, so to see her hurt affects the way I care about her.
Right.
Respect that. That's important, and that makes me feel some kind of way, that's important to him not to do that ever again. And of course that was pre-marriage, but still, to know that he still knows how significant and important that was, I can really appreciate that.
What do you guys argue about the most?
Communication. Simple communication.
Chris is smiling. You heard that before.
Yeah, it's communication. Me so much, I run a company and she like want to know my why you ain't tell me you went to this job, or why you ain't tell me you went to that job, why you ain't tell me you went to this job.
No.
It is.
It's about being professional. So a lot of times he wants to please everyone and he'll juggle things. So I'll get a call. Come on, because we're going to tell it all here. Let's give the meat to the story. It's not about why didn't you tell me about that job. It's the fact that when you don't tell me what's on your schedule and you may be late or you forget that you told so-and-so, oh, after this project, I'll try to come by there and look at whatever, and you don't, they call me. See, that's what he didn't say. They'll call me, looking for him.
Right.
But if I would have known that you told so-and-so that, I could have called and said, you know what? Chris is gonna try to get by today, but his schedule's really tight. So if not, we can see you tomorrow. Or matter of fact, let me schedule a date and time that'll be specifically for you. See, that we work different.
I understand
we
that.
love each other, but we work totally. But we have fun wherever we go if we can communicate well. A lot of times, the littlest thing will tick me off that doesn't bother him, and then the communication is just shot. So, I mean, we're being honest here. We could be having the time of our lives, and one little thing, we may be running late, or something will just aggravate me that he thinks is small fries, that shouldn't aggravate us, and then the communication just blows up from there.
Right. Where did you guys honeymoon?
Mexico,
Okay.
yeah, Playa del Carmen.
Okay. So did you stay at a resort? How
We
many
did,
days?
we did.
Tell me
Actually, it
about
was a time, we stayed for a week, and we've been going ever since. It's a timeshare there now. So we go every year, but we've also had an amazing time. We're Jamaica, my sister's wedding, New Orleans, everywhere that we go, Vegas, everywhere that we go, we tend to have a really good time. Even when we were in Atlanta, when we've been stuck places trying to get somewhere else, you know, just driving to a casino in Delaware. Like we pretty much have trips with our boys. We have a really good time, but again, we have to do a better job of just our simple communication. Because a lot of times that can make the best trip turn into a very sour trip.
Right.
And it could be prevented. It's I mean, again, it's nothing that afterwards you're like, and we were arguing, well, did that piss me off? Like what? Yeah.
Our oldest, Chris Jr.,
He's 14.
14, plays football.
Athletic, loves sports.
Loves sports.
Yes. He thinks he's 25, but he's only 14.
Um,
And we have a 9-year-old, Jaden. He's athletic. He's into acting, stepping, everything that you can think of. He wants to do it. One day he's Chris Brown. The next day he's like
Teo,
Ayo, Teo, Karate Joe. Like, yeah. And then there's the little one, Joshua. He's 3. Joshua thinks he's older than both of his older brothers. Yeah, it's quite interesting living in a house with all boys and a husband. It takes a really strong woman to, not have to have a glass of wine every night. I think black love is amazing, and especially when I have a husband who is the owner of his own business. He has a construction company, A1 Finishers, and it can be quite challenging being a black male, having your own business, trying to succeed. So I feel like as minorities, we have to stick together even more, show each other love even more, because there are so many challenges with that alone that if you can't come home to peace, then it's really an issue.
I've been in business around 13 years now.
Well, he's known the trade for 13 years. Your actual business, that's why he has me, keep it accurate. His actual business, 3 years? But he's done construction for over 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard. Construction is hard. You know, owning your own business is hard. If you don't work, you don't eat. You gotta do your best. Every job, it's easy to get in trouble doing the business. You know, you gotta go the extra mile all the time on the jobs, competing out there. But I just think once you, I never heard, I used to hear people say, do what you love and, success will come. I never knew what do what I love mean until I really started doing it. Then I was like, you know what, this is what I love, because I could do it without getting paid. So then if you'd have asked me that 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I really couldn't answer that question. But now I can answer that question because doing what I love, starting to bring success over the years. It don't happen overnight. Then another thing that, and I tell myself not to be too religious, but I say God gave me this. I didn't say I wanted my own business. I wanted to know construction. It's just my life starting to go that way. And as my life starting to grow in the construction field, my knowledge started to grow, and I started looking at other tradesmen's mistake. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna make that mistake right there. So I always go the extra mile. I know that God didn't give me this opportunity, didn't give me the knowledge to not provide for me. So every time something don't seem like it's going the way it should be going, or I think it should be going, it still turns out for my good.
Yeah, because a lot of times I feel like as we get older, we get stuck. People often ask me what my purpose is, and I find it hard to really answer the question. I know what I love to do, but is that really my purpose? Those are questions I still find myself challenged with at almost 40 years old. So I think it's different stages for everyone.